Okay, so picture this. You find what looks like your dream job, a data analyst role at a huge company like American Express. You're excited, you click the link, and instead of a nice, clean job description, you get hit with this, a giant, overwhelming wall of code. So is the page broken? Is it a dead end? Nope, not even close. It's actually a treasure map.
What if I told you that everything you need to know about this job, the company, the role, even the culture, was right there in front of you, just written in a different language? Well, that's exactly what we're going to figure out. We're going to treat this source code not as some mistake, but as the real job description. All right, let's get our hands dirty. This is what we're up against. It's a little piece of CSS, which is just the code that makes websites look pretty. Now, to most people, this is just, well, it's digital gibberish, right? But trust me, hidden inside this, and thousands of lines just like it, are the secrets we're looking for. This is our wall of code.
To pull this off, we have to change our mindset a little. We're not programmers today. We're not hackers. Think of us as digital archaeologists. We're going to carefully brush away the dust and sift through the layers of this digital artifact to uncover the story of who built it.
So, our first stop on this excavation is the brand itself. You might think branding is all about cool logos and slick TV ads, but a company's real identity is buried much deeper than that, right inside the code that makes up its digital foundation. And here we go, our first major find. Now, I know it doesn't look like much, but this one little line of code is a huge piece of evidence. It's defining the company's primary color.
That code, that #006FCF, that's not just any blue. That is the specific, iconic, hexadecimal code for American Express blue. This line is basically a law that says every single thing we do online must have this exact color. It's literally their digital DNA.
We can call this whole system the digital brand blueprint. It's the complete set of rules, the colors, the fonts, all of it, that defines the company's identity online. So right off the bat, our very first clue tells us we're dealing with a company that is precise, consistent, and absolutely serious about its brand.
Okay, let's keep digging. We know the brand is tightly controlled, but what about the company's scale? How big is this operation? Again, we don't need to read their mission statement. We just have to look at the script.
So buried deep inside a JavaScript file, we find these little instructions. The code is checking for different language parameters. You see JA for Japanese, DE for German, S for Spanish, FR for French. This tells us the website was built from the ground up to serve people all over the world.
Now, why is this so important for our data analysts? Because in the world of data, global is just another word for massive, diverse, and incredibly complex data sets. This tiny piece of logic hints at the enormous scale and the challenge of the work they'd be doing.
All right, now for the part that connects directly to the job. How does this code tell us what a data analyst will actually be doing all day? Well, it turns out this very web page is a factory, and it's producing the raw material they work with. And you, the user, you're the data.
As we dig deeper, we find the actual tools of the trade. The code is calling out to all sorts of tracking scripts. You've got Google Tag Manager, a double-click ad tracker to see which ads work, Adobe Analytics, even something called Content Square to see exactly how people behave on the page. Each one of these is a powerful data collection engine.
Just think about that for a second. 4 different enterprise-level tracking systems running on a single careers page. This is not casual data collection. This is a sign of a highly sophisticated, data-obsessed organization that is investing a ton of money into understanding every single click.
So here's how that whole journey works. A potential candidate lands on the site. Instantly, those hidden scripts start recording everything, every click, scroll, and pause. That behavior gets turned into a tiny little data point. And that's exactly where our data analyst job begins, turning millions of those little data points into a real business strategy.
Okay, let's move on to our final clue. We've got the brand, we've got the scale, and we know about the data, but what's it actually like to work there? For that, we turn to one of the simplest parts of the code, the HTML for the navigation bar. And get this, we don't even need to see the web page. We can just look at the raw code. And right there, in the title attributes of the links, we find some very carefully chosen words. It's not just about us. It's about Team Amex. It's not just groups. It's colleague networks. That language is really specific. So, when we pull out all these keywords from the navigation, a clear picture of the culture starts to form. Team Amex suggests they're all about a unified identity. Colleague networks points to things like employee resource groups and building community. And having a whole section for students shows they're committed to bringing in new talent.
So, the real takeaway here is that the language they choose for something as simple as a navigation link is a direct window into their values. Without reading a single marketing slogan, the code itself tells us this is a culture that really cares about community, collaboration, and personal growth. Let's just step back and look at what we've done. We started with what looked like a broken page, just a meaningless wall of code. And by acting as digital archaeologists, we've pieced together a super detailed profile. A company with a precise brand, a massive global scale, a sophisticated data operation, and a culture built on teamwork. We did all of that without ever seeing the actual job description.
This just goes to show you that code isn't only for computers, it's a human document. It's filled with intent, priorities, and stories. So the next time you land on a web page, remember that the most honest description of that company might not be what you see on the screen, but what's written just behind it. So, what story is the code on your favorite website telling you?